Welcome back to ciLiving. I'm your host, Jaclyn Friedlander. Earlier in the show, we learned more about the executive director of the Children's Museum of Illinois, Rikki Parker, and her journey to her career. And now Rikki is going to tell you about two programs specifically for babies and toddlers at the museum. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, great to be here.
All right, so tell me a little bit about the museum in general first, and then we're going to talk about the toddlers and babies.
Yeah, so the museum is a 27,000 square foot hands-on experiential learning facility in Decatur. We are right next to the Scoville Zoo on beautiful Lake Decatur, and we have dozens of hands-on interactive exhibits, and then we have structured programming as well.
And so this that we're going to talk about today and show some examples of is for specifically toddlers and babies and their families, right? So can you talk a little bit about who is welcome at these programs?
Well, everyone is welcome, but we have two amazing programs that were launched within the past year. One is Toddler Time. Toddler Time takes place every Wednesday morning, and it is free with your general cost of admission, or with a membership, you're free every day for a full calendar year. And so that is an amazing program for toddlers. It lasts about an hour, and we do a song, a craft, and we read a story, and all of that kind of relates to one another. Baby Steps is twice monthly, the first and third Thursday of the month. And it's really for babies and for families, and it is 100% free. It starts at 9:30 and it goes as long as the babies will let it, right? So it's really for babies to kind of interact with one another. We have soft spaces laid out. They crawl around. We do a song and we do a little activity. Everything is really sensory focused, so they can learn through their hands and through senses and that kind of thing. But what I really love about it is it creates this sense of community amongst caregivers as well. So they can bounce ideas off of each other. They can talk about, challenges they might be having, concerns they might have. And so it really builds a sense of community that's been awesome to see.
And I think that that's really important. And I know especially post-COVID that there are some challenges with younger children, sort of not having that socialization and things like that. So I think that that's really great that you're providing that space for people to kind of figure that all out.
Yeah, and parents are uncomfortable with it too, right? Because for so long we were told we need to stay inside and we need to separate ourselves. And so getting families back into one space where they can really be together is really awesome. And also just building sort of a healthy risk tolerance, right? Kids lost their risk tolerance, parents lost their risk tolerance. And so what we do at the museum allows them to kind of build that back up and build social skills, which is really amazing to see.
And that's really important.
Yeah.
Well, I see that you've brought some activities, and I know you mentioned that sort of the story kind of pairs with the craft, pairs with the song. So let's talk about the Rainbow Fish first.
Yeah, so this is Rainbow Fish. It's a really classic children's book. The story is that this is the most beautiful fish in the ocean, and he has all of these amazing glittery scales, and he wants to hoard them all to himself. But all of the other fish in the ocean would really like to have one glittery scale, and so he ends up at the end sharing his glittery scales. And so we have the kiddos make a rainbow fish, and each one of them we encourage to just have one single reflective scale to symbolize sharing. I also love to say that this is an amazing book for nonprofits because it really talks about the joy of giving and sharing your resources. And so as a nonprofit, the Children's Museum really encourages folks to invest in the community and to invest in the place and the programs that we provide. So
well, and you can even, if you want to, be a sponsor for other members, right? How does that program work?
Yeah, we have an amazing program that we launched about 2 years ago. It's called our Angel Membership Program. It is 100% donor funded, and families that are experiencing a financial hurdle to getting into the museum are provided with a free membership. It's an amazing program, and we have distributed over 250 memberships in the community. So a huge thank you to all of our amazing donors. We often see families that give in memoriam to a family member, and so it's a really, really cool program, and it just makes sure that everyone can experience the programs we have to offer.
Well, speaking of your programs, let's look at this book. So we have Night Owl.
Yeah, so Night Owl, not as common of a children's book as Rainbow Fish, but the premise is that we have a little owl and he really wants to be a knight. And so he becomes a knight, and he is smaller than the other knights, but he's very courageous and brave, and he can also see very well at night. So in the middle of the night, a dragon approaches the castle, and he says, "I'm going to eat you because I'm very hungry."
Okay.
And he says, "You don't really want me. You want a pizza."
So the brave little owl manages to talk the dragon out of eating him.
Yes.
And offers him pizza instead.
Yes, and then they become friends because they both talk about things that they have in common, like the difficulty of describing what flight is like if you haven't flown before.
Oh, sure.
Being hatched from eggs. And so it's just a really cool story about friendship and bravery and pizza. So.
Well, and I feel like the commonality. So they essentially find common ground, so then you can't eat somebody that you have so much in common with.
That's exactly right.
So, wow.
Yes.
I actually am not familiar with this particular book.
It's a really cool story.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And then I love that you have found some activities that just go so perfectly that the kids can easily make.
Yeah, so I think we're a little short on time, so I won't make you trace your hand, Jaclyn. But these are some of the paper bag owls that the kiddos create. So you can see if we want to put one together really quickly, you're just going to tuck this underneath.
Put them on and then put the eyes.
Yeah, put his little eyes on.
Well, thank you so much for showing us how to make a paper owl and for bringing all of this and talking with me today.
Yeah.